Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to see how we can create beautiful bar charts using ChatGPT. We are not going to use any kind of pre-written code. We are going to start from the scratch from ChatGPT, and then we will make some modifications and then we will make these 4 bar charts using only ChatGPT and our modifications. So let's get started. I'm going to copy paste a prompt here and I say, can you create an SVG bar chart with rounded edges? The progress bar should be of solid blue color and the background bar should be light gray. It should be for tracking progress from 0% to 100%. For example, if the progress is 65%, the solid blue color should be of 65% length and the background should always be 100%. So once we give this instruction to ChatGPT, we are going to enter the prompt and it's going to create a bar chart. We click on answer in chat instead, and then it's going to show us the bar chart. Here we can see that the bar chart is given. It's 65% of the length. The background bar is light gray and spans full 100%. It has created a bar chart of 280 pixels wide. The progress bar is solid blue. It gives us the hex code for that, fills 65% of the total width, and then it gives us this. Now what we need to do is we want to place a number on the side of the bar. So we are going to type, can you put the number on the right of the bar for the given value, which in this case is 65%. And what we are going to do is that also create a gradient in the chart, or let's say in the blue bar, which starts from lighter blue and progresses towards darker blue towards the right. Enter. So now it creates, here is an updated version of the SVG with the following changes. The percent 65%, it has placed the number here and it has also introduced this gradient. Now we see that this is not aligned, so we are going to tell it to make it bold and make it aligned. So we will write, can you make the number bold and make it aligned in the middle, aligned with the aligned, I would say, and make it aligned vertically with the middle of the bar. Okay, so now the percentage text is now bold. The text is vertically centered with the progress bars by setting y equal to 25, the vertical midpoint of the bar, and using alignment baseline equal to middle to properly align it. I think I'm happy with this alignment, so I will go along with this. Then what we are going to do is to create a DAX with this measure. Now I have typed the prompt where I say, can you create a DAX for SVG of this chart? I want to use this SVG as image URL in Power BI new KPI visual. And when I click enter, it's going to give me the DAX for this particular SVG. So it returns SVG, I copy it, and then I go to Power BI, and then I create a DAX. So I'm going to click here, new measure, and SVG bar chart. Let's call it 1, and I click enter. Then what I do is I convert this from data category uncategorized to image URL. Now I'm going to bring it here and I'm going to see if the URL or the image is working or not. So once I bring it here, it's not working, it's broken. There's one thing that I've noticed with ChatGPT is that it does not include one line, and that line has to be included manually. Once you include that manually, then you can guide ChatGPT how to work with the rest of the measures. So we are going to include that line manually, and that line is var SVG URL, which we can add here. That is var SVG data URL. And this is the part that usually ChatGPT misses. So we are going to say return, and it's going to be SVG data URL ampersand SVG. Okay, once we have done this, enter, and now we can see the bar chart is there. So what we are going to do is we are going to increase the image size. So here what we see, the image size has been defined as height is 40 and width is 350. So we are going to set it to 350 and we're going to see how it looks. The height is 40, so it has to be 40. Now we can set the width slightly smaller, I would say. That would fit our table. So maybe 210. And there's one more thing, that we can also set the font size. So instead of 14, let's call it 25. So now it's quite big. And also, in case if you want to increase the SVG width, we can change it to 400. So that will be bigger. And the text, it can be that, let's say we want to set it to 340. So it's slightly to the right. Now this looks perfectly fine to me, that we have got this SVG and we have got the bar chart properly aligned and fitting in the cell. Now what we have to do is we have to replace this progress value with the dynamic value, and the bar width will remain the same. So what is the progress value? It's going to be score average. So we type in score average, yeah, and the progress width, enter. And now we can see that the bars have been adjusted according to the value. So our first visual is complete. Now we are going to change the color of the bar with the condition that in case if the value is in a certain range, it's going to be a red color. If it's in another range, it's going to be a yellow color or a green color. So we are going to say, can you adjust the below DAX? And we are going to copy paste the DAX once we finish writing the prompt, because we have changed the DAX after writing in Power BI. We added a couple of lines. So we are going to say, can you adjust the below DAX so that the color of the bar is red when the value is below 75, it's yellow when the value is below 85, and it's green when it's higher than 85, and when it's between 85 and 100. We are going to paste the DAX here, and let's see what does it give us. So now it has given us the updated DAX. We are going to copy this and paste it in Power BI. We are going to create a new measure here, and we paste the expression from ChatGPT, and then we change it to 2. This is another measure that we are creating, For red, I have a preference for different colors, so I would write the hex code for that. And for less than 85, I would say FF, AF, 5F. This is amber, and for green, I would go for 34C781. These are my preferred colors. When I would put it here, and then again I have to put it as image URL, and then I bring it in this chart. Now we can see that the colors of the bars are according to the condition that we set. Now if we want to replace it with a dynamic value, we have created 3 measures here: score threshold, high, medium and low. So we are going to set those thresholds. So we start with the low one. So this is score threshold low. In SVG bar chart, I'm going to say var score low equal to score threshold low, and then var score medium equal to score threshold medium. Now I'm going to say if the progress value is less than score low, then set it for this number or this color, sorry. And then if it is medium, then for this color, it should be fine. And now we can see that if it's less than 65, it's changing to red. Once it's above 65 but below 75, it's changing to yellow. And once it's above 75, it's changing to green. So this is the second chart that is also complete. Our next step is to create a bar where we will show a triangle at the top of the bar, and that triangle would represent a target. So we are going to take the SVG from the first bar, we're going to paste it, and then we are going to enter a prompt and tell ChatGPT what it can add to that visual in order to achieve the result. So I paste the SVG DAX from the first bar, and then we are going to paste a prompt. The prompt would be something like, can you create another SVG with a marker where you show the progress as showed here, but then there's a marker, an inverted triangle at the top of the bar, which should show the target. Hence, let's say the target is 85, the inverted triangle marker would be placed right above the bar at 85%, and the actual value would be 75 like before. Here we would replace 75, which is a static value, with the dynamic value, which is equal to score average. So we will place it like this, and then we are going to press enter, and then we are going to get the DAX for another chart. So this one is complete. We copy it and paste it in Power BI. In Power BI, we are going to create a new measure, and we paste it, what we copied from ChatGPT. We call it SVG bar chart 3, and then enter. We categorize it as image URL, and then we are going to add it to the table. Here we can see that it has made slight changes, but these changes can be fixed, so that's not a thing to worry about, like the gradient and so on. But what we really want to test is the marker. So if we go to this bar chart, we see the polygon points, because this is the triangle that it's creating, and we see 10, 0 and 0. So what we can do here is that we can increase, let's try to increase it to 20 and see what it does, is that it will create a bigger marker. Now here, if we reduce it from 10 to 5, so it goes slightly to the left, and then if we increase it from 15 to 20, it moves like this. So I think this has to be 15 maybe. Yes, 15. and then this could be 25. Okay, so now this looks better. And for the triangle, we can fill the color as, let's say, 333 333. That would be a dark gray triangle. And what else we can do is that we can set the target value. Here we have set it as static, but in case if I change it to 55, you will see that the pointer, it moves there. And if we set it to 100, it reaches there. Now you see that there's a slight difference, that it's going slightly outside the bar, but in my opinion, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. So we'll set it back to 85. Now what we can do here is that in case if we want to bring in this gradient, so here if we go back to our bar chart 1, we can see that we have got this gradient. We can either use ChatGPT to include this, or we can do a quick fix that we simply copy this, and after defs and defs we are going to, in fact we can copy all of this like this, and after this rectangle and this rectangle we are going to bring this in. So we are going to put it here, and that should work hopefully. And then the fill should be the blue gradient. That is also what we will copy from there. And we are going to remove this, enter. Now we have brought in the blue gradients. So you can do it manually, or you can use ChatGPT to do this. And then in case if you want to include any kind of colors, you can include those kind of colors here as well. Okay, so now we can add a bit more customization in this, that in case if we want to change the color of the value, which is like 65% or 75%, etc., we want to change it according to the condition, right? So let's say if I say that I have modified the DAX that you gave me to this one, can you make a small change where the color of the text changes according to the given criteria? And then I'm going to copy the conditions from my previous expression, where I will say bar color if progress value is less than score low, score medium, etc. So let's see if it can do this. Okay, it has completed. Now I'm going to copy it. Now I have pasted it, and now let's see what happens. And we see now the color of the font is changing according to the given criteria, when it's supposed to be green, yellow, or red. So this one is also complete. Now there is another bar that we have to create, and we'll go back to ChatGPT. What we will try to do is to separate the red zone, the yellow zone, and the green zone in the bar. Now I'm going to paste a prompt where I say, great, now can you create a DAX where you remove the gradient from the bar and you divide the bar into 3 zones, red, yellow, and green. Red zone is from 0% to 70%, yellow zone is from 70% to 85%, and green is from 85% to 100%. The actual reading, which was 75% in this case, should be represented by an arrow. So it generated this, and we are going to copy it and paste it in Power BI. So we paste it in Power BI, and the result is something like this, which makes sense because we can see the pointer is moving according to the value, so that is perfectly fine. Now for the lower threshold and the higher threshold, we just put some random values here. So here we can see that the red zone width is 0.7 and the yellow zone width is 0.5, 0.15, sorry, and then the green zone width is 0.15. So this is something that we can change according to our high threshold and the low or medium threshold. But I am giving an example here that we have got these fixed values, and this is how we create the chart. Now there's one thing that if we zoom in and we try to see the chart, we can see that there's a gray bar at the back of these 3 bars. So in case if we have to remove that, that is basically this one. So we can, if we just copy this out, and now if we see what happens, now that gray bar has disappeared and we can see 3 distinct regions. Now you can play around more with this, that you can try to make these edges as straight edges in the middle and round from the ends of the bars, or whatever you want to do. You can create different kinds of pointers, or you can change the size of the pointer. Let's say if you want to change the size of the pointer, we can copy it from the 3rd bar where it was 15, 15, 50 and 25. If we try it here, 15, 15, 50, 25, what do we get? We get something like this. It's a bigger pointer, so that looks great. So you can have this kind of bar. This concludes our video about creating bar charts from SVGs, and as you can see that the approach is very simple. You just have to start with ChatGPT. You have to give a definite prompt, you have to be very particular about the details, and then it gives you the result, and then you have to modify it by yourself to make it in a way that you want. I hope that you like this video, and I hope that you can use it and you can customize it in many different innovative ways. One more thing about the tooltips is that whenever you are creating these SVGs, you get these strange kind of tooltips. So you're going to go to visualizations, general, and then you're going to set the tooltips off, and then now you are not seeing any kind of tooltips. In case if it happens that you are seeing the tooltips for some of the bars and you're not seeing them for the others, what you have to do is that you have to remove that measure from the visualization. You have to turn on the tooltips, bring on the measures again, and then turn them off, then it will work. So I hope you like it, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.